In a culture saturated by events, one of the main points within our blueprint framework is to have events that are intentional with a clear purpose to help your men in their journey of becoming a disciple of Jesus Christ. Men are extremely busy, and you also want men connected with other things in the life of your church. So one of the big challenges that happens in men's ministry is in finding a balance between scheduling events without overwhelming the men who are part of your church. One of the mistakes that is often made is leaving men only with an event experience. Imagine having an event that tells men porn is really dangerous and you need to seek sexual purity, but then you've got nothing to help the men actually take the next step to follow through on what you've told them. Assuming that you want to develop men as a disciple of Jesus, then every event that you run needs to have a proper follow-up that will further their growth and the depth in their walk with Jesus. Any event or activity without proper follow-up will likely just simply be another event. Over time, it will be forgotten at best, and at worst, it will be completely irrelevant in their life. So how can you do a better job following up with your men after an event? How can you help them continue to go deeper? First, let's define quickly why follow-up is important and what it is. The goal of your ministry is ultimately to move guys from a wide, broad casting of the net into a more mature follower of Jesus Christ. The follow-up is a tool to help you go deeper into the issues raised within the large, broader casting of that net. To make the most of your follow-up, there are some things that you need to have a clear view of. You need to have a clear view of your whole plan for the year on how you're going to minister to the men in your church and how you're going to leverage each follow-up to go more in depth on the events that you've already had. You're going to want to keep each follow-up to a relatively short time period and time commitment after the event. As a ministry, we recommend focusing on 4 to 6 weeks after the event is done. You also need to know that given the nature of a follow-up, which is to go deeper, not every man in your church is going to respond in the same way. You need to be prepared to accommodate to the men in your church in the different ways that they respond and learn and grow deeper. Some men, they grow best in a more traditional face-to-face learning environment, like small groups or face-to-face one-on-one mentoring. Other men will develop best as they serve working shoulder to shoulder, serving alongside other men. Depending on the size of your church, you're going to have more resources and options for meeting the different needs of your men. One practical way is to connect your men through something like affinity groups for their follow-up. Some churches have connected guys into service groups or Bible study groups based on their personal affinities as men. So an example of that is if you have a group of men who share the same hobby, get them together and have them study the Bible together while also working on the hobby. At your event and following your event, let men know about the opportunities that exist for them to go deeper and to get stronger. At the event, give men the opportunity to sign up on the spot for the follow-up opportunities. One pastor I know gave men 3 options and then put his text number on the screen. He told every man to text him which option they would like to connect with. You should have seen his phone light up at that moment. Talk about your follow-up before and after the main message is presented as well, so twice during the event. This allows you to capture men who may have been convicted by the message and know that they need to go deeper. Some men won't respond right immediately at your event. Other men won't have even attended your event, but they may want to connect in with some of your follow-up opportunities. Consider sending a follow-up email within a week of the event to every man in your church. This email can let them know about the next steps that you've planned for them and how they can become connected with those opportunities. Overall, to make the most of your follow-up is to know your men and to know your plan well so that you can integrate the appropriate follow-up period with them. Remember, it's a follow-up. It aims to grow deeper with your men. So second, be aware that not all the men are going to grow in the same way. Provide options for them if you can. Most of all, be intentional to connect them, marketing in different ways. Find what your church already has in place, plug them into those opportunities, or if possible and needed, create something brand new for your men.